Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Brent for Team Arsenal back with another video. As you can see, we're back on the mat today, this time with a true Draco deck profile for you guys. This is a deck that hasn't really been in the format for a good while now because of its constant hints to the diagram, which is at 1, Dynamite is at 1. We still have no masterpiece. Man. But anyway, it's something I just had to put together. I haven't played it in a long time and it's just sitting in my binder. I thought it'd be pretty dope to show you guys and showcase on the channel and to also give you tips and ways you can improve the deck itself if I can be able to compete in this current format. So without further ado, we'll get right into it. We'll start off with the monsters. It's a pretty low count, just like with Sky Strikers, just like with your Dracos when they were in their prime back in the day. We're starting off with triple match teammating. This is basically the searcher for your true Draco monsters and your true King cards if you play them, or true King monsters if you play them. But basically, it's just our searcher is probably the weakest of the three, but we have to play it with the consistency hits we have on the deck. This is basically makes it more consistent to get to your true Draco monsters, which you're playing also double Ignis Heat. This is basically the true Draco allows you to search out your true Draco spells or activate them on the field, because your true Draco spells are usually your recursion or your draw power in a sense when you don't have your other forms of draw power in the deck. But it's not really the best one. It takes second place to this big boy here, Dynamite, which is at 1, unfortunately. But basically, this one is the one that allows you to play on your opponent's turn when you will be able to activate traps from your deck or add them to your hand. Which we'll get to the spells and traps in a minute. But if we could play more of these, like if we could be able to play 2 of these, I'd probably play 2 Dynamite, 2 Ignis Heat, and 2 Match Maiden. Or I might, if we were able to do 3, I might do 3 Dynamite, 2 Ignis Heat, and 1 Match Maiden. But moving on to the boss monster of the deck. Yes, we played Metaltron. For those guys who know what Metaltron is, he's basically another boss monster for true Dracos other than Masterpiece. But thing is, the reason we played Masterpiece over Metaltron because of the simple reason that it only requires 2 tributes and you were able to actually pop a card on your opponent's side of the field during your player's turn. Now with Metaltron, it requires 3 tributes, but just like Masterpiece, he's immune to whatever you tribute for him. So if you tribute a monster, spell, and trap, he's immune to all 3. And then if he happens to be destroyed, you get to be able to summon out a monster from your extra deck, whether it be a Exceed, a Synchro, or a Fusion. That's either Wind, Water, Earth, or Fire. Now, in this case, you could summon out Totally Awesome or cards of the similarity. But thing is, that effect doesn't really come up much, so we don't really necessarily play play our extra deck to work with that. But we do have like Totally Awesome and cards like that in there for negations and stuff. Moving on to the last of our monsters, we're playing triple Amato Wado. This deck is more so built to go second if the need is be. But I like Amato Wado for some fact that it could be a free normal summon to just stop or protect you from hand traps, or if your opponent has set up a board, just normal summon Amato Wado, and your opponent can activate none of their monster effects whatsoever for that turn. It's like a big stun card, so I like it. And then our last monster is Pancratops. Some effective, like I said, it's a go in second deck. You can special summon this for free. It doesn't hinder anything in your deck. And it's a good way to remove problem cards or little spot removal. So that's it for the actual monsters. Moving on to the spells, we'll start off with the cards that help with the consistency of the deck. We have triple Duality. The only time you special summon this deck is either if you special summon off of True King's Return, or you summon Pancratops, or some cases you might summon off of the Metaltron. But those are like 3 or 4 instances, whereas like if you do that, okay, fine, but most of the times you're not. So the Duality is pretty good and it's pretty free in the deck, just like with Extravagance. This is the reason I do not play the Domain build. The simple fact that I love Extravagance in this deck is basically just like a pot of greed, just like with Flow Honorees and anything deck like that. It's just basically you don't care about your extra decks, so you're just basically just burning off fat just to draw 2 cards every single time. It's pretty good. But there's also ideas you can do with the Extravagance while we're on the subject of it. In this deck, you could, side Winter Cherries. You also can side like Dogmatic cards in a sense, because you don't really care about your extra deck whatsoever. So it's just a thought. Also, we're playing 1 card Demise. This deck is basically what this card is built for. Back in the day, we used to play 3 of this like nobody's business, and we're gonna continue the trend, just playing the 1 of. And then finally, we play 1 Pot of Desires. There's a lot of fat in the deck. Like, we're playing multiples of every spell trap. We're playing multiples of the monsters and stuff. Desires is basically just free, just like Extravagance in this deck. It's not really anything too bad that you can hit. Maybe banishing all of your monsters or something, but what's the odds of that happening? And moving to the rest of our spells, we're playing 1 Call by the Grave. It's just a flex spot. I just had the card and I'd rather just protect myself from hand traps or DPE or etc. So that's why we play that. We have our 1 Diagram because we can't play the game. We can't have fun in this deck. So yeah. And then we play 1 Mystic Mind because we're making so our terraforming is actually, you know, viable other than just, oh, it's a 1-for-1 for Diagram. This gives us flex spot whether we either get the Diagram or get the Mystic Mind for 1 second. So that's when we play that. The last of our spells are basically the True Draco spells, which we're playing triple True Draco Heritage and 2 Disciples of True Draco Phoenix. Basically what these cards do, they allow you to tribute for your True Dracos. They also have the abilities of when they're sent to the graveyard, you can pop a spell or trap on the field. Phoenix is basically a pot of extravagance, a pot of avarice in a sense, where you can basically shuffle back 3 of your True King or True Draco cards and draw 1 card. And True Draco Heritage allows you to draw cards equal to the number of your True Draco cards, or True King cards, excuse me, that were sent to the graveyard this turn via destruction or the case may be. But it has to be from field to graveyard, not just from hand to graveyard like that. So let's say, for example, you have a Disciples, a Heritage, and a True King's Return on the board, along with a Majesty Maiden, for example. When you tribute the Majesty Maiden, Disciples, and the Return for a Metaltron, you basically be able to use Heritage to draw 3 cards off of it. That's basically how that works. So that's gonna wrap it up for our spells. Now moving on to our traps. For the True Draco traps, we're playing triple Apocalypse and 2 Returns. For the trap cards, basically, instead of you popping spells and traps whenever since the graveyard, you're instead popping monsters. And then basically, Apocalypse, during any player's turn, you actually able to pop other True Draco card or True King card on the board and have all your opponent's monsters attack and defense permanently. Or you also contribute off one of your, you contribute summon for a True Draco card, or True Draco monster rather. And Return has basically the same effect of you contribute your opponent's turn for a True Draco monster, or you also have the ability where you can special summon a True Draco or True King from the graveyard in defense, but you can't special for the rest of the turn, which is fine in this deck. Now moving on to the last of our traps. These are more so just like, I just have them in the binder, but you can probably place them better. We had Triple Judgment, just we want to be able to get rid of monsters or get rid of problem cards without even becoming a problem. So this is like still a very, very powerful card in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And it needs to be respected. So when people don't respect it, you just basically punish them. And then we're playing There Can Only Be One. Now this one, I personally would prefer to play Skill Drain if I had it, but I do not have it. So if you have Skill Drain, probably play it over this card, or you can play Skill Drain over the Judgment, and you can main Skill Drain and There Can Only Be One. But the only problem with it right now is you gotta be careful with the Brave package and the Draco pack. But if I could, I would definitely side the Judgments though. And now I'm not gonna really cover the extra deck, but I'm gonna actually instead list things that you actually guys can put in the extra deck. Like I said, you can put targets for the Winter Cherries in the extra deck and actually side the Winter Cherries. Like for example, Sky Striker cards, Baroness, Hockey Firebrax, Auroradon, cards like that you can actually put in the in the extra deck, and you can side Winter Cherries for those targets. Or you also can consider possibly put in more targets for the Metaltron other than just Totally Awesome. But the first one that comes to my mind is Totally Awesome, so I have like 3 of those in there. You also could put in targets for like maybe Dogmatic cards that you might side into the deck or possibly put into the deck. Things that you can basically just work with other than just throwing fodder in there for your extravagance. But guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this deck profile. Tell me guys what you think about it. Do you think with the right build, Draco's can actually make a dent in today's meta? If you got any lists for it, also let me know in the comment section below. It's been Raven Team Arsenal signing out. Peace and have a great day.
Hi guys, it's Bunny from Team Arsenal. As always, thank you for watching our videos, and always remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys. Bye.